Yo YouTube, yeah man, it's Tevron again, and welcome to episode 3 of my guide. In this episode, we're just going to be talking a bit more about pressure with Kotal Kahn. Just giving, showing you guys that raw pressure, his plus frames, his staggers as well, and his footsies. So further ado, I'm going to take it away. Let's go, let's do this.
Right, so looking at that list, as you can see, all those strings are pretty much safe on block. So when it lands, you are not going to lose faith and someone's not going to fully punish you. So let's go through them. Right, let's start off with Kotal Kahn's forward 1 string. It is a high startup, but it does cover a decent amount of range, decent speed, and huge stagger. So it gives Kotal Kahn a bit more breathing room when you land that string on block. So you're more likely going to get that second chance where you can be able to land the second hit on your opponents on block. Kotal Kahn's down 1 is very important in this game, simply because it opens a lot of options to his tools, like his command throw, and also as well his down forward 2. It gives him a lot of options and potential and punishing his opponents. It's very mandatory, and also as well it's very difficult for your opponents to counter punish him because it staggers a lot on block. The only thing I would say it lacks is the range, so you just got to be careful when you use that down 1 because it can whiff. Kotal Kahn's down 3 is lightning quick. It recovers really fast when you land it on block, and and also as well, if you can be able to get that hit confirmed from the down 3, you can always just dash forward and you just try to just go for the quick command throw. It just jails your opponents when you land it on block. But when your opponent blocks that string, it doesn't stagger much. So yeah, beware of that. But yeah, man, it's very quick, very strong for footsies. Kotal Kahn standard 4. God damn, it covers a lot of range. It covers a lot of range, plus on block. It gives you that second chance of getting another hit on your opponent. So you can, if you can be able to land it and your opponent blocks it, you can always set them up with a standard forward 2 just to close in and just provide them a second bit of stagger. And that's when you can start working the body with more additional pressure. But I use this mainly when you knock your opponent down and they're trying to evade you, they're trying to wake up with some random shit. You just dash forward, press standard 4, bam, where you going, bitch. Kotal's back 4 is decent. It covers a decent amount of range. Not the best, not the worst, but the best thing about it, again, yep, staggers that can put opponents on ease. So if you can be able to get that good range between your opponents, just for additional pressure, feel free to use that back 4. It is -9 on block, but obviously with decent range, and if you're trying out to do in front of your opponent, they won't rob you a ton. So if you can cover a bit of decent range, you can get that second hit again for additional pressure. So yeah, man. Kotal's standard 3 is plus on block. It's the range isn't amazing, but it's not the worst, and it is a high startup. But when you bait your opponents into using that standard 3, you got an extra turn. And also again, a lot of staggers. This character staggers a lot, so you can take advantage of these plus frames, man. These basic attacks, it's got really good basics. So yeah, man, if you can be able to bait your opponents into using that, when using that string, then you got an extra turn to pressure your opponent again. Kotal's 1-2 string and his 3-4 string is pretty much neutral on block. They both represent footsies, both high startups following to a mid. The 1-2 strings pretty much for additional pressure if you want to get in on your opponent's pretty much close range, just to respect yourself, get them to respect you. And also his 3-4 string represents good range for footsies if you want to close in on your opponents from mid screen. So again, neutral on block, it could be anyone's turn, so you just got to be careful with that. It's not unsafe and it's not safe at the same time, so it's standard. Kotal's down 4 string is not the fastest in the world, let's be honest here, But what's so good about this string is it's pretty much touching safe on block, and also it exposes his hurt box, and he goes right nice and low, making sure he doesn't get exposed by his big ass body. And yeah, man, like, it's good for, interrupting strings. Say like, characters like Johnny Cage with his 2-4-4 string, when he tries to do that combination with his with the kicks, it interrupts that because he gets real low and exposes his upper body. Right, so we're moving on the next set of strings that can be unsafe if you don't use them properly. So starting off with the forward 4, it is very safe on block depending on the range you use it on. So example, me using it at this range, your opponent has an opportunity to forward grab you because of the recovery after the kick. But when you use it within range, it gives them a less opportunity for them to counter punish you. This string is a mid, huge range, good pushback. It gives Kotal Kahn a lot of resources to work with when he pushes them back within space, because he's got a lot of space in strings. And yeah, man, it's pretty much a win-win situation if you can be able to land that on block. Alright, Kotal Kahn's forward 1-2-2 string. Yeah, you can use it as a 50 if you're up close, but what it's mainly for is footsies. So obviously if you use that string up close and your opponent can be able to read it, that's a fresh punish for them because it's a -6 on block. But if you use it within good range, it is pretty much touching safe on block, if not plus on block, because of the last hit provides a little bit of pushback. So the idea is to use that with pushback, like pretty much touching mid to far screen, around 3/4 I would say of the screen. You can be able to use that string because it travels a lot with good footsies. Kotal's forward 3 string is pretty much -5 on block. Yes, it's slightly a bit unsafe on block. It is a low startup, but it puts your opponents on ease, because even if you use that forward 3 string, they're expecting the forward 3-4, or they could just expect the forward 3 standard. So it's kind of like a 50-50, and yeah, it does have a gap, but it just makes your opponents respect you a bit more when you use those strings. If you want to make this string more safe on block, what you need to do is forward 3-4 string. You just need to whiff the forward 3, and then the standard 4 afterwards. When you land that, it just provides a bit of pushback, which is pretty much plus on block. So yeah, man. Kotal's standard 2-2 string is pretty much the most unsafe thing out of the strings I've shown. But what's so good about this string is it puts your opponents on ease again, because they're not expecting the low. That's the thing. If you do a standard 2-2 and you can be able to land it on block, it provides a huge amount of stagger, and opponents are gonna think, whoa, what's going on, man? He's gonna hit me with a low. So I wouldn't recommend using this frequently, but when you're going against your opponents the odd times and you just want to get a little bit of your health back, you can be able to use that. And if you can be able to get that hit confirmed, that execution, you can be able to use a pop-up launcher, and then you can be able to use the B&B combo towards it, or you can just do a sword slam as well. That's what I regularly use, just to let your opponents recover from the stagger, and then they're thinking, oh shit, I can't even dodge this unblockable. So yeah, man, it's kind of not safe, but I thought I'll add this because it's additional footsies and pressure to his playstyle. Kotal's back 2-2-3 string is pretty much for footsies and pressure. Just keep it in mind, the last hit has a gap, so your opponent has time to counter punish in between that that last hit. So you just got to be careful. But it's pretty much if you want to use this for additional footsies and you want to approach your opponents, you can, you know, use it within range. And then the final hit obviously is pretty much, it's plus as hell on block, hella plus on block, but that's if your opponent's gonna give you that opportunity to do it and thinking, yo, I'm gonna zone you out straight away. It's pretty much a surprise attack if you want to use this. I use this probably last resort, and if I think my opponents are pretty much stiff and they're thinking, yo, I gotta play it more safe now, I don't want to make sure he doesn't do a combat game, and then I would use that string. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend using this a fair amount of times. So just be careful with it. It's good for executions, but you know, last hit does have a gap. Right guys, I'm just gonna wrap this up. Yeah man, make sure you invest on all those strings that are presented in the video, man. Just put your opponent on block in the practice mode and just start, you know, messing around with the range and, you know, investigating what's decent for additional pressure. Make sure you're using your back dashes as well, so you can be able to get the true potential of some of the strings that are provided you. And yeah man, you can be able to bring the war to you against your opponents online, man. So yeah man, just keep at it, keep doing it, and keep doing this pretty much every day as well, just for a good couple of minutes. You know, just, it wouldn't hurt just like do this like 2-3 times a day, you know, just to, you know, get an idea of the stuff you Kotal Kahn can do in the strings. So yeah man, like, I'm gonna leave you guys to it.
So there you go man, there's all these footsie points, there's all these stagger frames, these plus frames. Yeah man, you're ready to go to war. So yeah man, episode 4 I'm just going to be talking a bit more about tip throws, so look out for that one. And yeah man, for the newcomers out there that's just seen this video, make sure to drop a sub and a like, man. There's more videos to come your way. But till next time guys, I'm out. See you in the next episode.